Yesterday, I looked at how Joash and Amaziah started their reigns by being faithful to God, but then ended them by turning to idolatry. Which brings us to Uzziah in today's passage. He also began his reign doing what was right in the eyes of the Lord, just as his father Amaziah had done. The writer tells us that Uzziah prospered as a result and became strong. Unfortunately, along with becoming strong, Uzziah became proud. In his pride, Uzziah tried to usurp the role of priest in order to burn incense before the Lord. In response to Uzziah's prideful actions, God struck him with leprosy in his final years, and his son Jotham ruled as his regent until his death. When Uzziah died, Jotham went from being regent for his father to reigning as king. The writer tells us that Jotham also did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, just as his father had done. But unlike his father, he did not fall into the sin of pride. The people, however, did not follow the example of their kings, instead following corrupt practices. Which brings us to Ahaz, Jotham's son. For most of my life, when I read the accounts of the kings of Israel and Judah and telling us what wicked that I read them as telling us that wicked rulers lead their people to wickedness. However, as I've read through the Bible again and again, I've come to realize that the stories told about ancient Israel are actually summed up by Psalm 125:3, which says that the wicked will not rule over the righteous, lest the righteous do wrong. So I conclude that while some of the good kings of Israel and Judah led them to be faithful to God, it was the people of Judah's wickedness under a righteous king, in this example, Jotham, that led them to have a wicked ruler in Ahaz. When we look at our rulers today, if we think that they are wicked, that reflects not on them but on us. Before Ahaz, the people of Judah had 4 kings in a row who did what was right in the eyes of God for most of their reigns. Yet, the people followed corrupt practices under the last of those 4 kings. So it was not the kings who led the people of Judah to sin. Rather, it was the sin of the people of Judah which corrupted their kings. So, while a good ruler may lead his people to obey God, a corrupt people will eventually have corrupt rulers. And again, if we look at our rulers and see them as corrupt, we need to turn our eyes inward to see why that is so. Please like and subscribe if you get something of value from this.